Ladies and gentlemen, I have a serious announcement to make. About 10 minutes ago, Jerry was taken seriously ill and was taken to hospital. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm more concerned about Jerry's health, and it's a very ironic way to end this night. So I thank you all for coming. Please support the charity. Please forgive the situation if you can, and pray for Jerry. Thank you for coming. I'm terribly sorry. Good night.
Thank you. Well, this show's about me, my life, and how I had the honor and the pleasure and the extreme, wonderful, fantastic life experience of meeting and working with, well, almost, and getting to know the wonderful Jerry Lewis. How thrilling it was to meet him, comedian myself, meeting the great Jerry Lewis. How fantastic it was to spend time with him and become friends with him. How wonderfully inspiring it was to know that Jerry was going to fly to England to be in my comedy charity show, something that I produced, and it was fantastic just to think about it all happening. And by the time it was all over, I wanted to fuck Jerry Lewis up the ass with Frank Sinatra's prick. I wanted to kill Jerry Lewis. I wanted to strangle Jerry Lewis. I wanted Jerry Lewis to get down on his knees and say, "Suck my comedy dick, you overbloated, fucking egomaniacal, fucking self-centered has-been." Now I'm not so sure. I've always had a bit of an anger problem. I come from a New York Jewish family. Yelling at each other was our way of getting exercise. I was born in Long Island, New York. When I was 3 years old, my parents moved out to Beverly Hills, California, and I found them 6 months later. Thank you. My father was an inventor and an entrepreneur, and inspired us all in the family to think and to invent and to entrepreneur. And he had 5 patents to his name. He was brilliant. He had all these mysterious qualities. He had A-type personality, and he was very funny and often not very happy. My mother was, well, she still is, but she was the ultimate showbiz mom. When I was 5 years old, I was enrolled in acting school, and soon enough, I got my first TV commercial. I was very excited at 5 years old, and my career has been going steadily downhill ever since. When my mother was a little girl, she wanted to be, you know, she had a great voice, and she was going to be a child star. And there was a man from Hollywood, as opposed to the man from Glad. I can't stop thinking of that, doesn't he? Who wanted to take her out to Hollywood to make her the next Shirley Temple. And I don't mean, here's a Shirley Temple. I mean, you know, to make her the next Shirley Temple. Or Deanna Durbin, I think it was. But her mother, a strict European seamstress, wouldn't allow it. So my mother became the ultimate showbiz mom. Beverly Hills is a very, very strange place. I mean, it's not the Beverly Hills that I know today. First of all, we lived in the poor section of Beverly Hills, below the tracks, below Wilshire. We actually had to walk to school. Ooh. And I only had $1,000 on my credit card. Times were tough. But it was a great place, Beverly Hills in the 60s. It was fantastic. You literally would see cardboard cutouts of the movie stars walking around. You'd go into the butcher shop, and there'd be Alfred Hitchcock saying, "I'd like a nice bloody cut of lamb." Or there'd be Joan Crawford at the dry cleaners. "I said wooden hangers, damn it!" Or James Cagney, the great book. I don't know why it was G. Robinson. I cannot do Cagney. I have a mental block. There you go. Or Lacey. But the thing is that my father was tall like Dean Martin. You know, he was tall and good looking like Dean Martin. My mother, you know, was and still is, you know, kind of like, you know, she's like, "Tonight I talk to Jerry," you know, so it's not that you were Jerry Lewis, but it's just that my parents got divorced. It was like Martin and Lewis breaking up, because I saw them as a great comedy team. Did I get out of that one? On Sunday nights, I watched the Ed Sullivan Show, and I'd see these, these great adult comedians doing exactly, what I wanted to do, but I couldn't do. There they were saying all the things that, in school and at home you weren't allowed to talk about and weren't allowed in ways to talk about. There was, Jackie Leonard was one of my favorites. Jackie Leonard, he was, he was an insult comic. He'd be like, hey, why don't you put your glasses on backwards and walk into yourself, and I'd see Alan King, Groucho Marx, and Martin and Lewis, and I saw them and I said, wow, there's a full-fledged adult on television telling jokes, getting laughs, becoming famous, getting applause. Why wouldn't I want to become one of those guys? It told me also, don't listen to adults. They don't know what they're talking about. They're unhappy. They're miserable. They want you to be unhappy, even though they say they want you to be happy. Be a comedian. Comedian was great. And we moved around. I had different, school rooms and classes in different cities. So for me, a new classroom was like a new audience. Like most kids wanted to be the smartest or the toughest or the best in sports. I simply wanted to be the funniest. That was my goal from very, very young. Now, there are a few gentle souls in my life. One of the most gentle was my cousin Larry. Larry was absolutely brilliant man, and he experimented a little bit too heavily with LSD, and he had emotional problems, and he was in and out of the institution. And he was living back at home with us. He was 25, and he was put on suicide watch, but I was a suicide watch guard. And I caught him twice trying to kill himself, and of course the next morning, my aunt, who I was living with my aunt and my father, my aunt had a poodle named Max, which is not the beginning of a limerick. And it was my job to walk the dog. And because my father and my aunt, his second wife, I'll have to explain that another time, but the second wife, got into a fight, I had to not walk the dog out of loyalty to my father. And because I didn't walk the dog, Florence walked her dog. Because Florence walked the dog, no one was watching Larry, her son. He went out and jumped off a building and killed himself. He was only 25. And I blamed myself because I didn't walk the dog. And I went into an emotional catatonia for about 3 years, and I was fine. And I had a rough ride, choosing with divorce and all these things, and then this, and I was really depressed. And there was only one thing I could do: become a stand-up comedian. I got a job at a place where you get a job to be a comedian, at the dry cleaners. There was one guy that came in. He had a white suit. It was 1976. He was dropping off another white suit, and he's picking up a third. You know who I'm talking about? I think you do. It was Steve Martin. And I just saw him on The Tonight Show. He was just, starting to get some notice. And I got to wait on him. And I had these little Triscuit biscuits that I was eating, these crackers. And I came off a break, and I gave him his cleaning and his stuff. And I said, Mr. Martin, I said, this cracker has been in my family for generations. If you wouldn't mind, I hand him a pen. And I didn't even have to explain it to him. And he took the pen, and he went, I do this kind of thing all the time. And I went up to the Comedy Store one night on a dare. Well, I did the Jimmy Carter thing first. So I went up there, and it was like, hi, my name's Jimmy Carter. I'm your president. And none of the jokes worked. And then I said, do we have any questions? And my dad was in the audience trying to help, and he said, yeah, what'd you get Amy for Christmas? How bad a comedian do you have to be when your own father heckles you, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't go back to the Comedy Store for 5 years, and but as I was trying to be a songwriter. And then when I finally took these bits, and I went back and I signed up, because I was running the Sing of the Natural Fudge, and I went up and I did some stuff that I did in between the songs. So it was kind of like, like play for you a song. This is at the Comedy Store now. I play for you a song I just wrote. I hope you like it. Here it is, Phil Spector went to prison, was in jail for attempted murder, but he escaped over the wall of sound. When you're having sex and the phone rings, do you answer the phone? I say it depends entirely on who you're having sex with. If you're having sex with your secretary, then she should get the phone. Hello? Yeah, hi, is Mr. Green in? No. Yes? no, yes, no, yes. Oopsie, just popped out. Okay. So, the next thing I know, I do my little 3 minutes. I mean, they give you 3 minutes to audition at the Comedy Store. They sign up 3 minutes. You know, who could establish themselves in 3 minutes comedically? Sexually, maybe, but comedically. And anyway, this guy who left me afterwards said that Mitzi saw me and says she wants to give me spots. Mitzi? Mitzi who? She owns the club. And I said, spots? I don't want spots. I work at a dry cleaners. We try to remove spots. Amen. But the next thing I know, I'm working at the Comedy Store as a comedian all of a sudden because there's audiences there. It's unlike the music gigs, and it's fantastic. It was unbelievable. It was great. There was all these great comedians that were on stage and me. And but a lot of them unknown. There was Jerry Seinfeld, there was Bill Maher, and Robin Williams. Let me pick up some of these names I'm just dropping right now, if I can possibly just put them over here. But it was an amazing thing, and I was experimenting with all kinds of comedy. It was a weird place. And it's even probably weirder today, but it was functioning weird back then. And Mitzi is this lady. She's not very well right now, so I think it's perfectly safe to speak bad about her. I can't reach the phone to call my lawyer. Anyway, I have to say, she hired me to be a regular comedian, so I'll always be angry with her for that, but to thank her for that. But it was a weird place, and Mitzi fancied herself as kind of a Mae West kind of thing. That was her iconic figure in her life, and hey, like any healthy middle-aged woman, she loved sex, and it wouldn't. Let me put it this way: it wouldn't be hard to imagine, as it were, to see a semi-unfunny comedian in the main room who, was, slogging at the Mitzi, and that's their business. But, when you're trying to work in art, you think there's a meritocracy, you think you're going to get work, and sometimes we did. And the Comedy Store was filled with egos, and there was hot and cold running cocaine in the bathrooms, and there were showcases, and the thing is that if you go to a party, you bring a bottle of wine, or you bring a fruit basket. Well, one of the ways to get known at the Comedy Store was to bring a celebrity who came to see you. Clint Eastwood came in to see a comic, or Barbra Streisand, or Nicholson, or somebody. So it was like, don't give the attention to these human fruit baskets. Give it to us. It was what we wanted. And I did a lot of different things when I was at the Comedy Store. I did a game show for Reynolds.
You ready? Okay, let's show everybody at home what this is. $200 riding on this. We have a tie game, sir. If you're ready, have a good time. Good luck to you, Bert. Ready and go.
Tree.
Broccoli.
Tree. A tree, a bush.
Tree.
A bush.
A bush. The burning bush. Moses. Okay, he wrote it down. That's legal. You can write it down.
May Bush.
George Bush, the vice president.
Tennis bush. Tennis.
Tennis racket.
Magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass. Racket. Hit in the face. Jimmy Connors.
Somebody, you're hitting the same thing over and over and over.
Beating. Beating bush.
Beat the bush.
Beat the bush. That's it.
Don't beat it on the bush. All right.
Very good. Very good. Look at that. Not a lot of drawing.
Is that amazing?
This is really, it looks like...
It's amazing.
Yes.
He is either very smart or I'm very good.
Yes, I'm not sure which it is.
I think he's very smart.
I think so too.
I think it's somewhere in the middle.
How are we doing, by the way?
Yeah.
Thank you.